Hello, hello, hello. Hey, I'm on here from the beginning. What happened? Hello, everybody. Mike Arnold's here, co-founder of Path Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacchino. By the way, if you're new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing the bell, and hitting that ever so important like button. And long-time people, please consider coming back after this live stream's over and at least leaving a comment in the comment sections, trying to get wider distribution. Oh boy, what is going on, everyone? Let's see. Ken, I hope you are feeling better. Ken got the COVID. It stinks. Hello, Dave. Hello, Wavy. I know you're here. Wavy, always remember to trail those stops, Wavy. Let's see what we got going on with our Tesla. Tesla, to quote Wavy. Did not like that it could not close that, keep that 1100. This was a pretty substantial reversal, getting up to overbought on that daily, and was not a ton of resistance. We had, let's go to short-term charts. I'm not going to go through all my updates. If you want all the updates I post, you're going to have to join Discord at this point because we've gone through the harmonics enough. But major next harmonic cluster I was watching for was this 119, 120, and we could not get there. Stalling out, we had 114.29 on the chart from before, stalling out there on a closing basis, and this was not good. I said this morning on the Discord server that once we tested this, watch for 1100 becoming support, which it did. Becoming support, retested with support, pulling back to that 5-minute rotation zone, rotating back up. And then once it closed back below here, that's just triggering a reversal. By the way, technically, this was not a double top. It just missed qualifying. However, it's a pretty substantial reversal pattern. You had a major divergence up there. All that means is I was still watching it for a reversal pattern. You had a 15-minute divergence. You had multiple 5-minute divergences. And, you come back down here in 15-minute rotation zone. And the bottom of the 15-minute rotation zone, I give clues in Discords even if I don't say things all the time, like posting. Watch what time frames I post. I want people to start seeing and really analyzing, breaking down, closing below the 15-minute rotation zone, and then coming back down. By the way, I did the retracements up here that are updated, and coming back down to the 12.5% harmonic. So, yeah, that was not good because there was very little selling pressure. You can see, I mean, it still beat the indices, up 2.5% versus NASDAQ was up 1.6. But if you look at the end of the day with the NASDAQ, there wasn't selling pressure. S&P, no selling pressure. Dow, no selling pressure really at the end of the day. So it was all just coming in Tesla, and it could not hold that psychological 1100 area. We still think Elon has more selling to do this week. I didn't think it was going to happen today because, you wouldn't come back first day, you execute the plan, which is already in place, so you can't modify it. But if I was putting a plan in place, I would not be selling after essentially a long weekend of Christmas. Friday being Christmas Eve. A lot of people had Friday off, markets closed. You don't want to come back when people are coming in the office late or sluggish on the Monday. It's still a lot of dominated by junior traders this week, where the senior big boys are they might touch base with stuff, but they're not coming into the office. So, and they're giving their execution orders to the younger guys. So that's why we had the selling pressure back below that wavy again when moving up stops. Yeah, you might have just turned this into a break-even stop or something, especially when it's going the opposite of the market. Remember, even though it's still closed higher on a percentage basis than the market, we did not have a big selling pressure in the markets this afternoon. So this was all Tesla selling pressure. So first thing I'm watching for tomorrow morning, even if we gap up, especially if we gap up, because it seems a lot of days that it's juiced into the pre-market, it's juiced up and then the selling hits. Not saying anything other than that. It's just juiced up and then the selling hits. So keep an eye for momentum bars. Momentum bars. Here's a great example. Momentum bars. These are green momentum bars. So you start seeing the opposite. Those would be red momentum bars, and you don't want to fight it. Again, this is the kind back from the December 16th. These you start seeing gap up and then red momentum. Start preparing for a bigger pullback, especially with the lower volume traded. What was? Let me see what the volume was today. I mean, it's still it's not horrible, but it's down from last Wednesday, Thursday substantially. So just keep that in mind that if you get Elon dumping another 900,000 some odd shares, you see some momentum bars and people piling into it, that you could see at least another decent pullback. So where do I need to be for bullish line in the sand? Essentially, my bullish line in the sand from last Thursday was this 1068.50. We gapped up, and it didn't even attempt to really fill the gap. It wasn't that big a gap up, you can see here, and then just took off to the races. Right now, I need it to get back not only above 1100. I need it to get above this shelf about 1115. 11:15 tomorrow to really get me in bullish mode. Oops, I hate when I hit the wrong thing. There we go. 11:15. It's pulled back right now to the 1 hour rotation zone, which it hasn't been a very brief contact back in the 23rd, but really it's been running out of steam. We had some little divergences there. You can see there 4 hour, no divergence there yet. So on a push higher, if we do gap up, even if you gap up, I mean, theoretically, we could gap up, around this 1120 area. Remember that cluster tomorrow. Then if selling pressure comes in, you'll also get a 4 hour divergence. Your key pullback areas, let's go through there because you got to manage risk first. You start getting back below this about this 1088 level, the 12.5% pullback harmonic. You can watch this little resistance, the gap fill and this little resistance shelf, and you have a larger harmonic there at 1070, 1069.05, 1070. Then below there, I'm watching at 1059. You can also, off this, do your harmonics down. And that just, so let's see. Before you even get there, so we break below this 1088, I'd be watching about 1084 area. Then 1080, then I'm just going down for this little shelf in here, right about 1073, then the gap fill, then 1059. If you break below there, now remember, you have a clear path move into here, and we've already closed into that. Now, I'm saying that with a caveat because I wouldn't be surprised if we gapped up tomorrow. But you get back into this area, you don't have a lot of stopping points until you've got back down this 1073 area. And that's only some minor. Major starts getting back down to this 1059. Then below that, you have what we call an advanced clear path. And the next stopping point down there isn't until roughly about 1011. Now, I'm not saying we could get there all the way tomorrow, but just keep that in mind that if you do get a lot of selling pressure, that's where your longer term targets are. But realistically, I'd be focused on about this. If you get substantial selling pressure, I'm going to be watching the 1 hour rotation zone, the bottom of it, with this 1059, 1060 area. If no Elon's selling tomorrow, then Elon's selling on Wednesday. I think it's got probably one. He's got one tranche of options left, so it's probably one more day of selling. I don't think Thursday. I mean, there's normal markets, but if I was putting it in place, I'd be focused on Tuesday or Wednesday. I would not be doing it on Friday. And Thursday, still, you're lightening up for people not coming in on, who are taking off New Year's Eve. even though it's regular trading. And I wish they would shut it down early on New Year's Eve, but they don't. But I would still be focused on tomorrow, and or if it doesn't happen tomorrow, on Wednesday. Just and the only clue you'll have are these kind of watch that, especially 5 minutes. If we gap up and then you start getting those 5 minute momentum bars going to the downside, don't try to stand in the way of it. So based off the 1 hour, I'd be focusing on the bottom of the 1 hour rotation zone, and that's going to be your key level because the 4 hours all the way back at about 1040. So that's the first area. Now to the upside, if selling does not come in tomorrow, then I'm still really focused on this 1020 cluster. Above there, we have 1026. And then the other thing I wanted to point out is 1026. You get above 1026 or above our other trend line. And I posted this in Discord earlier. This is a little clear path move. Then I'm focused on running up to about the 1056 to 1063 area. And I would fine tune that with intraday harmonics. So that would be for the intraday harmonics using that. But the next major target, if there's no selling coming in and we get above that 1026 area, I'm just focused on that 1126 area. I'm focused on 1156 to 1162. And that is a very key area. You see, it was a lot of key resistance before. So wouldn't that be something if it still ran up tomorrow and then you get the selling coming in on Wednesday? And this is selling. This was Elon. This was Elon. This was Elon. So that would be sort of an interesting symmetry. We can't predict that. We're not trying to. And we can't predict when the selling is unless you've read his plan or have inside information, which I certainly do not. We just have to watch for the footsteps in the market. And you start seeing those big elephant footsteps of selling pressure, don't try to pick the bottom right away. You'll just get, and if you're long from great positions down here, remember we had some buy signals down here. That's a great area to lighten up something and then look with selling pressure eases up, not necessarily tomorrow, but Wednesday, and then you looked on a rotation to re-add back in. So that's the concept we talked about with trading around the core position. Major on this end, just by the way, is the 50%. We still have to consider that. The 50% of this run-up is right back at a 1001. So in case something else disastrous comes out, you always have to prepare. In case other disastrous news comes out, you always have to prepare for the downside key levels. Let's see. Let's see what else we have. Let's see. I'm just going through the questions real quick. Oh, we already answered that. Of no Elon selling tomorrow, then Elon selling on Wednesday and Thursday. It would be one or the other. I mean, I guess he could. He could always have more selling than exercising the options in his plan. We don't know that, but I'm watching for at least one more key day of selling this. What was I going to say? I'm watching for at least one more day of his plan selling stock before the year end. So at least you know that 42 Lou trading was not for me. I couldn't handle the feeling of loss. Then do it on the. I mean, loss is even in investing. Loss is inevitable. It's managing your losses and managing the emotion around losses. And if you're trading or investing, you have to get used to losses. There's no way around it. Even stocks, even in the long term, you're going to be wrong at times, and you're not going to want to ride it way down. That's silly. You're going to want to take a stop, and even if you love the stock long term, get back in when you get a good bottoming pattern. Yeah, so it's probably another that 900 something number, and I don't remember what that is, but it's still in these markets could move it substantially. Yeah, a new plan could be put into place, but that plan would have to come. It would have to be put into place, and then it would not get triggered till after earnings, first the earnings that come out. You know, fourth quarter earnings that come out in the first quarter. So let's see. Yeah, let's see. I'm just seeing if there's anything else. I'm trying to catch up on comments. Yeah, no one knows. That's why we just, again, watch for the telltale signs of the market. And the best sign is to watch for momentum bars right off the open. So that's about it. I'm not seeing much else we have to cover. We already have our game plan. Again, already back up to 1098 post market, but really watch to see if we are going to gap up tomorrow and then you get that selling right off the base, that's going to be my major clue that that selling's coming in, and to not step in front of it and to manage stops and manage long positions wisely. And if you're looking to get long, wait for a very strong bottoming signal. So that's, not gonna ramble on much longer. We already have our game plan in place. I will see everybody who's a member of Discord. I will see you in Discord tomorrow. There we go. And talk to everyone later. Have a great day. Bye.